Okay, so here's the part 2 of stack implementation. This program will be implemented, or this stack will be implemented using pointers this time. For the previous video, it was implemented using array. So we have to declare the directive first, and then standard namespace. So this time we'll just implement three operations on stack. That is the pop, the push, and display operations. So for the choices, I'll just create three operations. So cout is \n. So stack operation. So we have number one, that is push, and the number two we have the pop, and the number three we have display. So these operations will be implemented using pointers, and at the same time we will use structure display choice. So basically we need uh, at least two variable for this one. The first one is for our choices, and the second one is for the item to be uh, inputted or inserted later on. So let's declare it as int data. This is the data to be inserted later on, and we have a choice. So set. So cin, we have choice. So if the choice is equal to 1, if choice is equal to 1, then basically we will implement push operation. So if it's 2, then pop operation, and then if it's 3, that is the display operation. For other references, display function is referred to as traverse. So this is push. Okay. Cout push operation \n. Okay. If it's 2, then as I told you, it's pop. And what happened? So else, if that is 2, so it's basically used for pop operation. And then if that is 3, that is for display operation. Otherwise, also we need to output that it's a wrong choice. So cout, so wrong input. Okay, so these are the different operations that we'll be using throughout this one. Okay. So for us to continue displaying this one, we need to put this one in a loop. So while one, Yung sa iba po kasi, instead of using that one, this one, while one, pag sinabi po kasi nating while one, it is always true. So every now and then, it will output this one. So it will execute this one. Ang iba po kasi, ang ginagawa nila, gumagamit sila ng go to statement. So, do you want to try again? Then go to, go to, go to. So, it's a looping mechanism. So, instead of doing that one, just create a loop that is always true. So these are different operations that we'll be creating. Now, so we already created the main function. So we need to create the structure. So still, we already know on how to create structure. Let's name it as node. So struct node. So we have two elements, that is say info or the data. So that's the other one, and we also have the pointer. So let's name it as link to distinguish it for the previous tutorial, which is the variable x. And at the same time, we need to create an object pointer and name it as top. This is an object this is an object pointer and name it as top. Okay, so that's it. So we need to create the different operations. Let's start with the push operation. So the push operation, so let's create node, and we have push operation. Okay. So the first thing that we should do is, if we are to push an element, ito po kasi, if we are using an array, take note, if we are using an array, so there's the so-called overflow and overflow po natin. This time, overflow is not applicable kasi po wala po tayong maximum size. So, we need to create a node for this one, and that node will contain our item. So, let's say we have a parameter in here. So, int item to input. Okay. So, that's the parameter. Meaning, if we are to use push operation, we need to give a parameter which is an integer value. So we need to create a temporary node. We need to create a node and store it to a temporary variable. So node, then let's say it's temp. Okay. So this temp will contain our created node. So temp will now be equal to, we will create a node. So new struct node. Okay. So we just created a node and store it to temp variable. And temp, take note temp of, ano ba yung dineclare natin dun sa taas kanina? It's info and link. So temp of info will now be equal to the data we are inputting. So this one. And then our temp of next, or temp of link, I should say. The next item should be, temp of link should be the pointer to the whole stack. Okay. What does it mean? Okay, so nag-store po tayo Okay. So, isa lang po ibig sabihin nito. So, temp of info is equivalent to our item to be inputted. And then temp of link is equal to the top. Take note, this one is a pointer to the whole stack. So, after inserting, the next element should be the whole stack. And that's it. That's the push operation. Next is the pop. So let's create a function pop. Okay. In popping an elements, we need to test if the stack is empty. So if it's empty, we cannot pop anything. So we need a temporary variable. So node temp. Okay. So if top, take note top, it's a pointer to the whole stack. If it's equal to null, meaning there is no element in the stack. So we need to output stack is empty. Okay. So otherwise, if it's not empty, then we need to delete the elements. How should we delete the element? Okay, take note of this one. So we already declared a temporary variable and we need to store the whole stack into that temporary variable. So temp would now be equal to top. Okay? So temp would now be equal to top. Then the next thing that we should do is to delete the topmost element. How should we do that one? We just need to adjust the top element. Adjust natin, papapuntahin natin sa pangalawang element. So top, take note, top would now be equal to the next element. Yan. So the topmost element is already deleted. Then we need to output the element that was deleted. So element pop. So let's say, so the element pop was uh, temp of, okay, so the data, so temp of info. Okay, so that's it. ENDN. Okay. So it's already deleted. The last one is the display function. So void display. Still, we need to test if the stack is empty. So output natin, stack is empty. Otherwise, okay. So we need to output all the elements. So we need a temporary variable, let's say uh, load temp to temp out. Okay, so temp out. Say temp out. And that temp out will temporarily store our stack. Okay, so temp out will temporarily store the stack. So while the stack is not empty, so temp out it's not empty, so meaning it's not equal to null. So we will iterate all the elements. So how do we do that one? So we just need to output the elements. So temp out of info. Okay? And then we need to adjust the elements. So to adjust that one, that is temp out is equal to temp out of link. We just need to adjust it to the next element. So that's it. So this is already the program. Okay, so we need to test. There's an error. Push must return a value. So push must return a value. And let's say return top because it's the variable that we use. Top must return a value. Okay, so return top na lang din natin. So return top. Okay, lang ba error? Ah, may kukulang pa pala. Hindi pa pala tayo nag-input ng elements dun sa pan natin. So push operation. So in push operation, so we need to enter the value to be push. So enter value. So did we declare already? So this should be data. So C in data. Okay. Nice that it has an error. Data is ambiguous. Okay. Wait lang ah. So top equals we need to push the item push which is data. Ay, taga-error ito. Should I change this one?
Susundo ako. Hindi ko na lang nagamit ko.
Push identifier not found. Hindi pa natin dinideclare ito mga to. So, it should be void display and then this one a push and then the pop. Okay, so it's already declared. So under pop operation, I just need to equate top equals our pop function. Okay, and then display, we just need to output display. We just need to display the elements. So call the function display. yata naglalag. Okay tayo. Naglalag. It logs. Medyo sumusuko na ata yung laptop ko ah. Ayan. So let's try it again. Let's run it again. Okay. So we have different operations that is this under stack, that is push, pop, and display. So let's try display first. So 3. So display operation stack is empty. Let's try to push, enter a value that is 1. Then we need to display. So why is it that it's stuck empty? Wait, wait. Bakit stuck empty pa rin? Stuck empty. Stuck empty. Bakit siya stuck empty?
Sundo ka pa, sir? Saan
Sa
sa
push.
76? Ay, sir ah.
Yung problema ko kasi hanggang 6 ako lagi So,
Ano ba? Confirm ka na ako, sir.
Ha?
4:30 to 6. Confirm ka na naman.
yung problema ko. Kaso walang 4 siya minsan.
Sir?
Walang 4 lang siya minsan. Ito lang. Kaya ngayon.
Wala pa siyang mga panggabi, sir?
Ha?
Wala pa siyang mga panggabi?
Wala. Hanggang minsan mga 5:30 lang later.
May kulang dito.
Kaya yun, pagka
So,
nasa bahay na
temp of link is equal to
Ayun, sir ah. Dito ka, tapos pupunta
Tap.
ka ba dun sa Siberis? Babalik ka.
ibalik lang natin, hindi pa pala natin nalagay yung
pa,
pad.
sir. Hindi ka
So
nag-save.
tab
Pwede na.
should be equal to temporary value. Ayan, so try natin kung nakaka-push siya. Push. Tingnan natin kung nakaka-push. So 3 display, stack is empty. Let's try push, enter value 1. That's what is different. Then display natin. So display operation, andito na po siya. Nakikita na po dito. Ayan. Then let's try to push again. So let's try 1, and then enter value. Let's try 5. Okay. Then we need to display, which is 3. So you can see we already have 2 elements, 5 and 1. Let's try again. So push. Let's try 10. So that should be 10, 5, 1. So let's try to display. So that is 10, 5, 1. And let's try the pop operation, which is 2. So the remaining element should be 5 and 1. So element pop is 10. We need to display. So the remaining is 5 and 1. Let's try again. Pop. Okay, so the element pop is 5. So the remaining element should be 1. So display 1. So that's stack implementation using pointers. And that's all. Thank you.